Hi, it's Tuesday and it's the 20th of May, and we're here to look at the current astrology. So I'm going to share and we'll look at the chart for the moment. There we go, you've got that. So we've got a couple of things happening. So the moon has moved out of Aquarius and into Pisces. Now, no particular big deal about this. The moon stays in one zodiac sign about 2.5 days, 2 days and something hours. And it does a whole, it goes all around, it does a whole journey around the Earth in less than a month. So it gets around, and so every month the moon will go through a zodiac sign. So, but its relationship to the sun whilst it's doing that is the important thing. So let's go to the sun and we'll see that the sun is at 29 degrees, 52 minutes of arc in Taurus. That's the symbol for Taurus. So pretty soon that sun is going to move in to the portion of the sky called Gemini. That's here. Now, I wonder if I can just take you through this. I think I probably can. So I'm just going to move forward in hours. What you'll be watching is we're moving forward in hours, but as we do so, the sun will be dropping towards the horizon where it is going to set. This black line is the horizon. So yes, that's it. It is working. That's great. There we go. Now, there it is. It's just moved into 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 of Gemini. And here that will be at 1900, so 7 o'clock tonight. And that is actually just as it's going to set. So that's rather cool. In actual fact, when it does set, the descendant will just be in Gemini and the sun will just be in Gemini. So anyway, that means that it is what we call squaring the moon, because the zodiac signs of Pisces and Gemini are both on a cross shape with two other signs, and that's Virgo and Sagittarius over here. They're called the mutable signs. It's the mutable cross. So there's a 90-degree angle between the sun and the moon. And that has meaning. So what it generally means when there is a square is that, or a 90-degree angle, it means that something is backed into a corner, and it has to take an action. And so when you get two zodiac signs well, they're always in 90 degrees to each other. The zodiac signs don't move around the wheel. They all stay in the same place. The whole wheel moves. Anyway, when you get two zodiac signs at 90 degrees to each other, then they are signs which don't really understand each other. They can be quite aggressive with each other, depending on the nature of the sign. Now, as it happens, mutable signs aren't that aggressive. They can be quite able to back down or steer clear of trouble. They're not going to confront things. So Pisces, very gentle energy. Gemini, a bit scared of stuff, a little bit afraid of things now and again. It's not a punchy sign, Gemini. It feels quite like it just wants to creep around somewhere and not be noticed. It loves talking. Gemini loves talking and it loves communicating. But if you ever think that a Gemini is being confrontational, they're not. They're just asking questions out of childish innocence. And as soon as somebody else comes up with, a different side or a different angle, straight away the Gemini will change their mind and agree with that person. There's no determinedness about Gemini at all. It is literally about the collection of information, the collection of words, the collection of opinion, but it doesn't hold on to these opinions. So it's a question of give me this day my daily opinion. Gemini, when it's Gemini energy, because we've all got Gemini in us somewhere. when Gemini energy makes a statement, it's not a lasting thing. It's just an opening statement, and everybody else is going to put their two penneth in. And the Gemini expects that and wants to have its mind changed anyway. It's very interested in the whole process of somebody else's opinion. Anyway, so there we go. So going back to the share, so when we have the moon in Pisces, which is water, watery moon, water element Pisces, and we have the sun in Gemini. So what we have is air versus water. So the biggest difference between these two elements is the fact that air likes to be separate. It wants to separate something to understand it, and water likes to cling. So water is emotional and wants to get cozy, and air wants to chat and talk. Now, it doesn't matter if you're across from it in a cafe, so sitting at a table will be fine, or sitting next to it at a dinner party is fine. But it doesn't want to stay quiet, and it doesn't want to just snuggle up and say nothing as water does. So there's the difference. But there is something that these two zodiac signs do share in common, and that is the sense of wonderment and a sense of awe and a childish sense of thrill at the universe. So I always think of Peter Pan and Wendy at this point, in that gondola in the sky, and the whole thing is about this childish enthusiasm and wow and whoa and that's very much like Gemini and Pisces. These two will stick their heads over the parapet or sit there looking at the sun about to go down, or maybe go into a wood and look for fairies or something, and they will share the wonderment of seeing the dolphins jump or the sun dance on the waves, or a toadstool ring. They share that sense of childish wonderment, which is lovely, isn't it? If the world were only like that all the way through. Ha. Okay, so we've got something else here now to want to talk about, and that is we've got Venus in Aries here, and that is now exactly trine, which is an angle consisting of 120 degrees away from Mars, which is in Leo. So we've got a fire planet in a fire zodiac sign, and we've got an earth planet in a fire zodiac sign. Venus describes what is currently vogue, what is currently, as far as the atmosphere is concerned, as far as the universe is concerned, because that's describing the universe, and we are just ants living in the ant colony experiencing this universe. So with Venus in Aries, there is a will and a admiration for and liking for the qualities of that zodiac sign. So Venus in Aries is like, yeah, come on then, let's get feisty, let's get punchy, let's get fast, let's get furious. Well, normally you can expect that maybe Venus and the Sun will, well, I say not normally, that's not true actually. I'm going to remove that word normally. Erase normally from your mind. Sometimes Venus and the Sun can be in the same sign, and then Venus is like, yeah, I want this and I'm attracted to that. And the Sun, the yang spirit energy of our universe, is in accordance with it. Okay, they're working together. When they are in different signs like this, you get this kind of a split in the universe. And so the yang energy is saying, that's the sun, is moving into Gemini, and that's saying, let's have a natter, let's talk, let's communicate, let's get online, let's go on Facebook, let's go on X. I hate Facebook and X, but I'll talk about them because people use them, don't they? And And Venus doesn't want anything to do with that. It just wants to be fast and furious and get feisty and punchy and be very energetic. And so there will be, it's not a huge problem, but there will be an eagerness for the feisty energy versus the, oh yeah, but can we just sit and talk about this while we think about it? So it's that kind of energy. And in the meantime, the moon's in Pisces, dreaming away. Pisces just wants to lay down on the river, on the lily pad, and drift down the river, just gently, maybe nudging against the bank now and then if it gets one of those sort of like coves on the river, then it'll just lean back in the quiet waters and flip its tail and admire things. It doesn't really want it. Remember, Pisces, by the time it gets to Pisces, is old, had enough, doesn't want any more, and it just wants a quiet life. There you go. Okay, so that's what's around us over the next couple of days. Now, how does it feel when we have the shift from Taurus into Gemini, when the sun changes zodiac sign or goes into a different section of the sky? Well, I think you could think about it like this. Okay, so as you all know, I love gardening. And I have a garden with 2 greenhouses, and we have been so blessed with the weather this year. It's been absolutely fabulous every day. So everything is bursting into life, needs a lot of water, mind, but it's all sort of, oh, it smells beautiful, and it's growing, and it's green, and it's colourful, and it fills your sort of nostrils and your eyes and your heart with this wonder of nature, so green and fresh and clean and eager to put on her best dress, and sort of and the weather being so warm, so it's encouraging. Go out into nature, sit on the grass, like it's just lovely. Even mowing the lawn is pleasurable at the moment, right? Okay, have you got the picture? Yes, you have. Right. Now, when the sun comes into Gemini, as it does, as you know, in a couple of hours, then imagine that you have had enough of the garden and you get into the house and you go into your office, my office, if you like, you can come here, and you want to talk to somebody. You want to message them. You want to have a surf on Facebook. Let's have a peruse, flip through your friends list and what have you. Or you find yourself organizing meetings. Oh, let's all get together. I haven't spoken to you for ages, that kind of stuff. So the difference is stepping out of nature, out of the garden, and into something communicative, into something chatty, into something researchy, sort of like researching something maybe, or catching up with address books or emails, that kind of thing. And so now nature is still there, but you're no longer in it. You can't do these things in the garden. You can't see your screen. So it's that step into that different world of the office and the emails and the chatter. That's what the step is all about. Taurus can be very fixed and stubborn. It is a fixed sign after all. And so Taurus can be quite sort of, I could say lazy, but I think there's a better word for that. I think it's languid, and slow to be charged up. However, the energy of Gemini is all over the place, like this, that, and the other. So it can be a bit irritating to go from this slow, languid, steady, plodding pace into this These are the things that you might notice. You might not notice them, but you might. And so this is the stuff that, we could think about. Right. I think that is everything. And do you know what? I've just realized that I've just prophesied what I'm going to say next. This is amazing. Guess what I'm going to say next? That's so funny. I was talking to the lovely Karen this morning. Oh, she's lovely. And we spent a couple of hours chatting away and looking at astrology, horoscopes, readings, this sort of thing. And I decided that I was going to remind everybody, relaunch actually, because I think I took it offline, the fact that I do teach private lessons. And it's £40 for an hour. I don't know what that is in dollars. Look it up. And so you can bring anything to the table. You can bring your kids' charts, and I don't mind doing children with you, or you can bring your boyfriend or your mother or what have you, or any charts you like, or you could just have a straightforward lesson on a certain aspect of astrology. Maybe you're a bit, hazy on the dwarf planets, or maybe you're hazy on the asteroids, or maybe you're hazy on secondary progressions, which is what I use for predicting, or maybe you're hazy on the elements or whatever, right? Aspect lines. Then I'm really very happy to chat with you, as I say, for an hour, and it's one-to-one. It's not recorded or anything. It's me and you, and it is really just me teaching astrology or running things, just saying, well, think about this like that and think about that like that. So I must put that back online. But anyway, in the meantime, if it isn't there, and I didn't check before I started this video, then I do that, and all you have to do is email me, and we can do it just hours to suit yourself, whatever, whenever, it's fine. I enjoy doing it, and it must be because the sun is about to move into Gemini that I thought to myself an hour ago, oh, I love chatting to Karen this morning. I know I'm going to tell everybody that I do this, and maybe some people will be interested. And there we go. And I'm just talking about the sun moving into Gemini. There would be no better thing to describe Gemini than meeting to have a chat about astrology. Astrology is, after all, an air element thing. I think that's astonishing. Anyway, I'm Alison Chester-Lambert. I am an astrologer. Actually, I'm a research astrologer, and I was taught in the mode of psychological astrology. I had to do psychology as well. In fact, psychology was my undergraduate studies, and so that's where I'm coming from. And I hope you got my book, The Easy Way to Learn Astrology. So just reaching for it. Don't forget my book, it's very cheap. And that's me. I'm going to stop selling stuff now. I'm going to go. I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you later in the week. Thank you. Bye-bye.